What's up again, everybody? Well, we're a few days away from the battle-hardened Chicago, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am so excited to see how this pans out, because we've had a week now with Dusk Till Dawn to really check out new cards, new archetypes, new heroes in a brand new meta, and I think there's going to be some really spicy stuff coming down the pipeline for this event. So let's talk about what we could possibly see and how this could pan out this weekend. Before we do, though, I want to point out this entire event will be streamed on MinMax Games' YouTube channel. Check the link in the description and the comment below for the actual stream where it will go live. Hit the little heart button so it notifies you. Come hang out with me and Flake as we do commentary both days. It's going to be Saturday with the actual event on the Battle Hardened, and then Sunday with the PTI. We're going to do streaming stuff for both of those, so come and check it out. It's going to be an absolute blast. But why is this event going to be so exciting? Well, there's a myriad of reasons. First of all, we no longer have Oldhim in the meta, and I know there's a lot of people out there that started weeping tears of joy, and also a few people that wept, actual tears, because Oldhim is now gone. But with Oldhim rotating out of the format, that means that the control archetype that has so long been kind of dominated by Oldhim is sort of up in the air now. It could really fall in a variety of different ways. Does, like control dash become a thing again with pistols and chambers? Does Bravo sort of try and take the reins with that controlling archetype? Or do we see Prism pick up the control reins and ride off, into the meta, trying to hold back the tide of damage? This is going to be an interesting one, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of people this week that try to make Control Prism, and maybe Iris Prism specifically, really work. And partially because of the vacuum that Oldhim has created by leaving, but also partially because the general Chicagoland area, from what I've learned over being there many times now, is very diehard illusionist. People were playing Prism, and then when Prism rotated out, they moved to Dromai because it was an illusionist. And now, perhaps, with Prism coming back in, maybe players are going to go back and try to make Prism work. And if you do, well, I think we'll see some Iris Prisms in the mix. And I'm not going to lie, it's a deck that can do some work. Does it become the new standard for control? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But I do think there's going to be a good number of players trying it out this weekend. So watch along with us and you can check it out for yourself. But it is one that I'd keep my eye out for, because it does have some legs. I mean, just auras in general are very hard to deal with when they have the word Spectra printed on them. Interestingly enough, though, the other illusionist is actually arguably in a better spot. I mean, Dromai, not just because of Lost in Thought, which is a great card, but just in general based on the way the meta has started to shift and the top decks currently in the format, Dromai has a really good time overall in this meta. I mean, if you're looking at Lexi being the top deck, which a lot of people are for perhaps right reasons, Dromai doesn't feel too bad into Lexi, and perhaps got even better with Lexi's loss of Bullseye Bracers, and not being able to easily clear a board full of dragons with like an Endless Arrow. And you look at what else Dromai can do and the other heroes that Dromai can play into, and there's a lot of positivity with Dromai right now. But Dromai has consistently been one of those decks that if your name isn't exactly Mara Ferris, doesn't convert. So that's the problem. If you're not named Mara, can you pull off a win with Dromai, or even a top 8 with Dromai? And sometimes the answer is yes, and a lot of times the answer is no. And I will say this, if we see Dromai's making big successful strides in this upcoming tournament, it will be off of the aggressive list. Empress Dromai is the truth. And so I think if we see success on Dromai, it's going to be with aggro and Empress Dromai. It's not necessarily going to be the big dragons that play slow and controlling, but maybe I'm wrong. Interestingly enough, though, I think this hero right here, Levia, has the most pressure to show immediate success. And maybe I'm projecting that, perhaps I am, but I think because Levia got so many tools, so many cool cards, so many upgrades in this set, the onus is on Levia and Levia players, really, to show that it was all worth it, and that it really was just a matter of a couple of cards to make the hero great again. Levia has the capability of maybe running the table and doing some great things, and from what I've been told or from what I've seen, I think Mansant is going to be taking Levia out for a stroll perhaps at this event, and if that is the case, then perhaps the pressure is on to see if the Levia Stan himself can carry Levia to the promised land and pick up the battle hardened win. That would be an incredibly exciting win to watch, and I would personally, I would clap the entire time and then immediately call for Levia bans, because I think that's what you're supposed to do in card games. If someone wins that hadn't been winning in a while, you just call for bans. It's how that works. I'm pretty sure that's what you do for Kano, right? That's how it works. But interestingly enough, all of this kind of comes back to the top deck of the format, and that was Lexi. Lexi was the top deck, and most likely still the top deck, but we probably wouldn't be having many of these conversations had Bullseye Bracers not brought the power level down and brought the matchup spread down a little bit for Lexi. Now, still a very high showing in general at Battle Hardened Cincinnati, and still a very powerful deck. It made it all the way to the finals and actually ended up losing to Icelander, interestingly enough. But yeah, a very, very capable deck, and one that I think if you don't know how to play against, if your deck isn't teched to play against Lexi, like, what are you doing? What is your strategy into this? Because you're going to see it a good bit, and rightfully so. The deck is quite good. It got a lot of tools from outsiders, and it's just making hay while the sun shines. Making hay while the sun, whatever the phrase is, it's doing well, and it's doing well when it's supposed to do well, which is quite good. And so I do expect to see at least one Lexi. I would say 2 Lexis in the top 8, and we'll talk about top 8 predictions here in a moment, because I will in just a moment just try to predict all the top 8s, because isn't that what people do on these types of videos? I don't know, it's what I'm gonna do. And then finally we come to a couple of heroes, one being Icelander that we just talked about, showing that, you know, news of Icelander's deaths were greatly exaggerated, perhaps. And it's funny because Icelander did fall by the wayside in the previous meta, but perhaps not necessarily rightfully so. Simply because we always have the ability to control the board and control our opponents to some degree with disruption, and now we've been given an even more powerful tool to do that in Warmonger's Diplomacy. And this was a card that was used in a variety of matchups, by a variety of heroes, that really just showed the power of this card. You can use it in a bunch of different decks, but for me, this is it says generic action, but it actually should say wizard action, because it's literally perfect for wizard. And if you pivot out of the Bullander list and really kind of run just pure arcane, and you throw Warmonger's Diplomacy in there, you're just like winning by playing Warmonger's Diplomacy. Not like winning the game, but you're winning that turn cycle in a lot of ways, because you're shutting down so much. This card is that good, and it is definitely worth the price tag that we see on certain websites that you can buy this on, because it's up there, and rightfully so, because it absolutely warps matchups, and it gives Icelander a lot more of a wide berth when it comes to some of the matchups that she was kind of struggling into at certain points. But yeah, picking up the win last weekend in Battle Hardened Cincinnati, I think is going to do a huge thing for Icelander players, and maybe bring a couple of them back to try the deck out. I know there's people already trying it back out on things like Talishar and just playing Discord games and things like that I've seen. So Icelander could be showing her head back up, rearing her head, icy face, whatever you want to say. She's pretty good. And then finally we come to these last 2 heroes, and I grouped them together because these are, in my opinion, 2 heroes that you should keep an eye on, because they have just been consistently successful. We almost, in some respects, saw Briar make its way into the finals and possibly LL, but it is very real possibility that we see Briar hit the living legend mark this weekend. The thing about Briar that I feel like a lot of people don't really either talk about or consider or just like value is how spiky the damage is, and how if you're just running hot that day, yeah, you can just roll over everybody. And then I have to put Azuri on here, because Drip Drop Dando is going to be at the tournament. I don't know if he's playing, but here's the thing. Consistent success on Azuri into a variety of metas and a variety of tournaments. How do you not just put respect on Azuri's name? How do you not do that? And yeah, I put Censor on here. Maybe you don't even run the new Censor. Like, maybe you don't run that card. It doesn't even matter if you don't get cards from this set, because Azuri is just that powerful and that flexible and that scary in this meta. It's just kind of cool how that turns out. And so you have to respect Azuri. So that leads us to this. I'm going to throw out what I think we're going to see for this top 8. I think we're going to see 2 Lexis. I think that, to me, feels very good. I think Lexi is still the best deck. I think we are going to see, I'm just going to say 2 Levias. I'm believing in the heart of the cards that Levia is going to prove the power level spike from this most recent set. Then I think we're going to see, I have to put the respect. I have to do it. Azuri is going to be there, and I really think Briar is going to be there. Quite a bit. That leaves us 2 spots. Now, here's the thing. I also believe in Dromai's chances, and so I'm going to say it right now. I think Dromai converts and gets into the top 8, which would be a first, I think, in Chicago from us commentating. I don't think there was a Dromai in any of the previous matches and tournaments that we've commentated in the top 8. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it leaves 1 spot. A dark horse, if you will. Who would you pick for the dark horse is my question for you. And you know what? The dark horse, in my opinion, has to be Kano. No, it's not Kano. It can't be Kano. I don't really believe Kano can do it. I'm sorry. Kano, oh, it makes me so sad. It's not Kano. Oh, God. It hurts so much. It hurts so much. I want Kano to be there. But it's not going to happen this time. Sorry if there's Kano fans out there like me that want Kano. I don't know. But I will give you a spicy 8th pick, and I will throw Dorinthia out there. I'll throw out Axe Dorinthia. I think Axe Dorinthia can somehow cross the line on that one. So that's my top 8 to you. Let me know what your top 8 is in a comment below. And hey, if the packages come in, if I receive everything that I am expecting in the mail, then tomorrow night we're going to do a 14,000 subscriber stream, which is going to be so much fun. We're going to open boxes. I'm going to give away boxes to people on the stream, as well as like just part of the giveaway. So if you want to sign up for the giveaway, links down in the descriptions as well. If you enjoyed the video, if you found some enjoyment out of it, make this number go up, because when we hit 15,000, oh my God, we're going to do the craziest thing I've ever come up with. Some friends of mine are going to help me out. It's going to be so fun. You're going to enjoy it. As always, thanks for watching.